Back here at home, the president is facing some harsh criticism from both parties following his talks with Putin. Chairman of the Senate Republican Policy Committee, Senator John Barrasso from Wyoming, joins us now live with his reaction. Great to have you with us. Let me start with something from your side of the aisle. Senator Ben Sasse, who has been tough on this president. He's let him know when he agrees with him and disagrees. Here's what he said today.
There is no moral equivalency between the U.S. intelligence community and between Vladimir Putin, and there's no ambiguity about that. There's nothing gray. There's nothing confusing. There are just a couple of true things that need to be articulated, and for some reason today, the president decided to say things that are the opposite of true.
What do you think?
Well, as I said time and time again, Vladimir Putin is not our friend, and I do trust the United States intelligence groups. I've said time and again that the Russians have tried to involve themselves and did in the election in 2016. It did not impact the outcome. I thought there should have been a punishing response at that time, direct and decisive. Wasn't done. I don't know exactly what the president has said in this long 4-hour meeting, but on all of those items that the president just talked about at the end, the United States has been very strong, and President Trump has been very strong against Russia on about 6 or 7 different items, whether it comes to Syria and the cruise missiles, whether it came to Ukraine and arming them, with sanctions against Russia, more money in NATO, by NATO putting up to defend against Russia, more money in our own military, getting rid of the Russians in the United States, sending them back, as well as putting our own defense missiles in Poland. The president's actions have been very tough against Russia. So
with those actions in mind, and a lot of people will agree they're tougher than previous administrations, and yet the president publicly is a lot kinder than to Putin than a lot of people are comfortable with, especially when he was pitted against his intelligence community against Putin. Why will he not publicly say? Is it that he feels personally attacked by the intelligence community? Why won't he accept their assessment, which you and others across the political spectrum accept as fact? Why won't he do that when he said, do you trust them or do you trust Putin?
Well, you'll have a chance, I'm sure, to ask the president that. He speaks for himself on that. But when I look at Vladimir Putin, he's someone who has stated he wants to rebuild the former Soviet Union. He is someone that invades other countries, as he's done in Ukraine, and as well as taking Crimea. He has an involvement in Syria, which we've been pushing back against. We know that he has involved himself in the elections in the United States, and he's holding Europe hostage right now for energy and wants to go further. So there are more things that we can do, I believe, in a punishing response to Putin. I don't know what the president said to him privately, but I hope he has said, look, we know you did this in 2016. Better make sure you don't do it in 2018, because if you do, this is the punishing response. It's going to happen. I'm not Barack Obama. I'm going to act. And so if nothing happens in 2018, then my hat's off to President Trump for privately telling Vladimir Putin to stay out.
Well, I know a lot of Americans hope that he was much tougher privately than he was in this public conversation. And he said they need to have a relationship. They need to be able to negotiate over things. The world is wrapped up in both of these top nuclear superpowers. So, Senator, thank you for weighing in. Always good to have you with us.